Hare Krishna, today we are reading from Sri Vrajamandala Parikrama, Govardhana, pastime places on the Govardhana Parikrama path. Number 20, Dana Nivartana Kund. The gopis reclaimed their toll tax from Krishna at this place. Number 21, Parasauli. Parasauli village lies about 1¼ miles southeast of Govardhana town in the lowlands of Govardhana. During the Mughal reign, the Muslims changed the name of the village to Mahamadapura. This is the place of the spring Rasa Leela of Krishna and his beloved gopis. This rasa continued for an entire night of Brahma, but it seemed to be over in a few short moments. The moon in the sky had become stunned upon seeing this Rasa Leela and remained in the one place for the duration of the entire night. Because this Rasa Leela took place in the light of a brilliant full moon, this place is also called Chandra Sarovara, the lake of the moon. In the southwestern corner of the Sarovar is the Sringara temple, where Krishna personally decorated Srimati Ji. Near the Sarovar, under a Chankara tree, is the sitting place of Sri Vallabhacharya. The Kuti and Samadhi of Suradasa, known simply as Surakuti and Surasamadhi, are also in this area. Suradasa was a natural poet. His collection of poems is famous as Surasagara or Surapadavali. Although he was blind, he would compose poems that beautifully describe the different outfits and decorations of Srinathji. One day, the priest did not dress Srinathji and left him completely naked. He opened the doors of the altar and asked Suradasa to describe Srinathji's decorations. Suradasa remained silent for a few moments, but the priest insisted. Suradas laughed loudly and proceeded to sing, Aaj Bhai Hari Nangam Nanga. Today Hari is undressed and naked. All present were stunned to hear this. Suradasa spent his last days in Parasauli. One day, Sri Vittalacharya, the son of Sri Vallabhacharya, asked him, Sura, what are you thinking about? Suradasa then composed his last song, Kanjan Nain Rooparas Mate, Atisai Charu Chapal Aniyare, Pal Pinjara Na Samate. Krishna's beautiful eyes are like Kanjana birds. They are full of rasa, very restless, and slightly reddened due to intoxication. My life can no longer remain encaged in this body. Saying this, he left his body. With tear-filled eyes, Sri Vittalacharya said, the boat of Pushti Marga has departed today. In the southeastern part of Parasauli is Sankarshana Kund, on whose bank is the temple of Sri Baladeva. Number 22. Parikrama. The village of Paita is situated 2 miles south of Parasauli. This place has special significance for the Gaudiya Vaishnavas. When Sri Krishna disappeared from the springtime rasa, the grief-stricken gopis began searching for him everywhere. Krishna assumed a four-armed form at this place, but when the gopis saw this form, they simply offered obeisances and continued on their way. Srimati Ji, restless in separation from Krishna, finally arrived there. When Sri Krishna saw Srimati Ji, who was unable to maintain his four-armed form, and 2 arms entered his body. Paitaghai. He then met with Srimati Ji in his form as an ever-fresh, youthful cowherd boy, an expert dancer holding a flute in his hand. Sri Krishna begged forgiveness from her and said, Beloved, when I suddenly did not see you in the rasa, I became aggrieved in separation from you and began searching for you. I am only performing this rasa for you. You should never go into jealous anger, mana, and leave me ever again. Thus, the springtime rasa is unique in that it establishes Srimati Radhika's superiority over the other gopis. The poet Sri Jayadeva Goswami has described the springtime rasa in his Gita Govinda. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu cites the spring rasa alone as proof of Srimati Radhika's preeminence. This subject has been described very sweetly in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita in the conversation between Sri Raya Ramananda and Sriman Mahaprabhu. Krishna has many beloveds, but Srimati Radhika is the crown jewel of them all because she is the embodiment of Mahabhava and the possessor of all good qualities. This is why Sri Krishna was able to maintain his forearm formed before the other Sakhis, but could not maintain his mood upon seeing Srimati Ji, and his true extra arms entered into his body. This is the special glory of Srimati Radhika. Among the places of darshan in Paita are Narayana Sarovar, Aimta Kadamba, Kira Sagra, and Balabhadra Kund. Number 23. Bachagaon. Bachagaon is 3 miles south of Paita and is also called Vatsavana. Sri Krishna and the Sakhas sometimes herded the calves here. Kanakasagra, Sahasrakund, Ramakund, Advarokund, Ravari Kund and the temples of Makhanachora Thakur and Vatsabihari Thakura are also here. Lord Brahma stole the cowherd boys and calves in order to further behold Sri Krishna's sweet pastimes. Sri Krishna himself took the forms of all the cowherd boys as well as the forms of their sticks, flutes, horns, calves and so forth. And then for 1 year he went cow grazing and performed the pastimes they had all previously enjoyed. 1 or 2 days before a full year had elapsed, Sri Krishna, Balarama and the cowherd boys were grazing the calves here. The adult Gopas were grazing the cows nearby on Govardhana hill, and their newborn calves were with them. When the cows saw their older offspring with Krishna and Balarama, they ran towards them, bellowing loudly without caring for the thorns, sharp grass and ditches on the way. The adult Gopas tried their level best to obstruct them by using their sticks, but to no avail. The cows did not even care for the newborn calves. When they met their older calves at this place, they began to lick them lovingly. The older Gopas became angry that they could not restrain the cows and thought that their children had sounded their flutes and horns to attract them. Intent on punishing their children, they went there quickly, but as soon as they arrived, their anger completely vanished and they embraced their children instead. Sri Baladev was amazed to see this and wondered, why did their cows leave their younger calves today and show more affection to their older ones? They used to love their younger calves the most and had even more love for my brother Krishna. And the mothers of the cowherd boys used to love Krishna more than their own sons, but now they love them both equally. Baladeva sought the answer to this riddle through his transcendental vision. Smiling, he then turned to Krishna and said, "Brother, was the milk of one mother not enough to fill your belly? Did you have to become the children of hundreds and thousands of mothers so that you could drink their milk too? But even this did not satisfy you. So you assumed the form of all these calves and drank the milk of millions of cows. What is the secret behind this pastime of yours?" Krishna revealed the entire mystery to Baladeva. Thus, because this forest is where Krishna revealed himself to be all the calves, the Hindi word for calf is bachda. It is called Bachavana. 24. Anyora Gaon. Anyora village lies on the Parikrama path 2 miles south of the town of Govardhana. The village of Jatipura or Gopalapura lies to the west of Anyora, on the other side of Govardhana hill. Srimad Bhagavatam describes how on the advice of Krishna, Nanda Baba and the other Vrajavasis began worshipping Giriraja instead of Indra. It also describes how they performed the Annakuta festival for Giriraja here. They cooked many delicacies in their homes, filled hundreds of carts with milk, yogurt, rabdi and other kinds of preparations and presented them before Giriraja. Sri Krishna himself offered everything to Giriraja and at the same time assumed a huge four-armed form with which he devoured all the offerings by extending his long arms. Begging for more to eat, he called out in great happiness, "Ano re, ano re! Bring more, bring more!" Krishna folded his hands and said, "We are poor Vrajavasis. Whatever we have, we are presented before you. Please be satisfied with this." In his four-armed form, Giriraja drank the water of Manasi Ganga, Kusum Sarovar and other ponds and exclaimed, "Triptosmi, Triptosmi, I am satisfied, I am satisfied," and wiped his hands and mouth with his cloth. He told the Vrajavasis to ask for a boon and they simply requested this. "May this Lala of ours, this darling Krishna, always remain happy and live long." When that four-armed form disappeared, Krishna asked the Vrajavasis, "Did you ever receive darshan of Indradev? Giriraja is very kind. He fulfills everyone's desires." After worshipping Govardhana, the Vrajavasis considered their lives fully blessed. This place has been named Grama because it is here that Giriraja called out, "Ano re, ano re." The natural impressions of the Vrajavasis' bowls in the rocks of Giriraja can be found where the Annakuta was performed. Nearby is a Bhajani Shila, a stone which emits a sweet sound when tapped with a piece of rock or with a stick or a finger. Thank you. Hare Krishna.